know a little bit more about how these things are performing and what they're like for the neighborhoods in which they're located. But that's not what advanced from the Senate this week. In the end, they gutted the bill, and here's some of the debate.
We've got people up there fighting with the towns next door. We've got families that won't speak to each other. I mean, it's really pretty sad, and it's all because they aren't being heard.
And that the question is not whether or not we will have renewable energy, but where we will site it and how.
Paul, what happened in the end?
Well, this legislation has gone through so many different permutations this session. Like you said, it started as a moratorium, then it changed to whether municipalities would have some control over it. On Tuesday, it was further gutted and basically turned into a study, essentially. The vote to change it to that was fairly close, ended up being about 16-14. So now the bill doesn't really do all that much at all. The reality all along has been that the House leadership has been a lot less likely to go forward with any kind of measures restricting industrial wind, and the governor certainly is against it. So I think you'll see this continue to die a slow death.
I think people in my county have been talking about how it's a classic case of wanting to control what's going on in your own backyard versus the greater good. Do people want to have wind power and save the planet, or do they want to have control over the environment they live in immediately and have to deal with every day? And even though there's not a lot of wind in Addison County, there is a lot of interest in people there in this issue.
There aren't any major wind projects in the queue. We heard over and over on the Senate floor, but there's this window of opportunity, some wind opponents fear, until the Governor's Siting Commission releases its report and develops a new policy.
All right, and it depends on how you define the word queue. There's nobody's got a permit application in, but there's projects proposed and not very far from that process. So, there was a real scramble for people who live in Newark or Grafton or some other places, Rutland, to say, we want to be ahead of this before they file the permit or as soon as they file the permit. And I don't think the issue goes away. I think the Siting Commission report comes out next month. It's really bad timing for those who want to control the projects more, because that report will come out. It'll be too late for the legislature, and it'll sit for a year. But that these projects are out there, this issue doesn't go away.
There was some pretty favorable economic news released from the Department